How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about MMAT metamaterials. Wanted to make sure I gave you guys an update. We saw some strength inside the market, so we're going to be talking about it. But before we get started, of course, we got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, and as far as things looking bullish, where those levels out need to be met. And then secondly, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. This is key because it will have an impact on the stock price. Then afterwards, we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution, where institutions loading up on shares today. We know this by taking a look at the large scale orders. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for metamaterials. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $3.58, being up 0.85%. On the low, it tested $3.46, and then on the high, testing $3.75. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, we traded at 10.928 million shares. And as far as for the average volume over 10 trading days, you can see it's at 12.786 million shares. So we did have below average volume, but we saw some strength inside of metamaterials today. When we take a look at the indicators on our chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's right around 44.43, so we're still in the oversold territory. And as you can see from the indicators on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 200-day. But one of the things we want to pay attention to, we are still holding on to support. We ended up testing $3.75, and we have the 200-day at $3.80. So what we want to look forward to is actually getting past this 375 level and getting back to that 200-day. If we continue to get rejected, then of course you want to see strength continuing, being above 350. We went to 346 on the day, but one of the areas that we want to pay attention to is staying at 350 because the goal is to get back to the 200-day. So with that said, once we get back to that 200-day, I want to see us coming back to reclaim the 21-day EMA at $3.96. And why is this important? We want to get back into the $4 range. So we have a lot of volume coming into the stock and there's a lot of buying, then there's no doubt in my mind we should be able to do that. But for the most part, we stayed consistent. Let's continue to consolidate, build support in this particular area in regards to the mid threes, and then we can look forward to seeing that push up when that buying pressure starts coming in. So as far as for pullbacks are concerned, like I said, we pulled back to around 346, but we can clearly see that we do have some strength right here around $3.35, and as well we do have some strength here at $3.14. So as long as we're able to maintain these levels and stay above it, of course I'll be looking forward to seeing MMAT get back to the $4 range. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for metamaterials. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see here we're focusing on August the 10th. Yes, institutions are showing interest, and of course these institutions are some sizable names. We can see Citigroup going in here with 2,983 shares. We also have Cypress Capital Management that went in as well with just over 1,500 shares, so 1,575. And then also we have Group 1 Trading that went in with just over 10,000 shares. Let's just call that just under 11,000, being 10,977. So that is definitely great to see for today's date as far as filings are concerned. Now, when we take a look at the short interest information, scrolling down, we can see the short shares availability is at 1.3 million, updated 21 minutes ago. And for the short ball free rate, it is at 1.78%. Now, taking a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see it's creeping up. So back on August the 6th close, it was at 49.70. And now at August the 9th close, which was yesterday, it is at 54.28. So it has gone up significantly. And what we tend to look for is 21% or higher. So this just means if we have a lot of buying volume coming into metamaterials. A lot of short squeeze potential here, but again, volume is key, and also we want to see it continuing to respect areas of support, and we know the levels of where we want to see it at. So we have to continue to be patient, keep an eye on that price action, and let's see what happens. But what's good is that, hey, institutions are loading up on shares. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for metamaterials. So we see here on the inflow is at 8,181, and then on the outflow it was 9,834. So we had 0 on the large for the inflow side, we had 4,545 on the medium, and we also had 3,636 on the small. On the outflow side, on the medium, we had 5,809. On the large, we had 354, and on the small, we had 3,671. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for August the 10th, ended up having an outflow day of 353.93, and out of the past 5 days, 3 of them have been outflows. No surprise, we ended up having outflows today with earnings and so on, so just keep that in mind. As far as the volatility is concerned, and when we were doing a technical analysis, taking a look at areas of support, there's a lot to look forward to here, but we want to see these key support levels actually hold. So now let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over even more details. So for my final thoughts for MMAT metamaterials, when I was going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest and as well as the recent institutional ownership, we see institutions have been loading up on shares. As far as the short sellers are concerned, they're still heavily vested inside of this play, but this just tells us that we have short squeeze potential. So if we have a lot of volume coming into this stock, we can see some strong moves to the upside. One thing that I do like, that we are respecting areas of support, and like I was saying, we want to make sure that we have some strength coming above that 200 day. That'll be the most ideal situation. I do not like seeing it under the 200 day, so I'm looking forward to seeing that move up. And as far as if you're going to be inside of this play, just make sure you have the right strategy. As far as potential is concerned, make sure you're doing your homework and as well as your due diligence. There's a lot of info out there online, and as far as MMAT as a company, I do believe as far as in the future is concerned, there's a lot going for it, but do keep in mind with the volatility that is happening, and it is a penny stock at the end of the day, this is something that you should be prepared for. So with all of that said, let's see how it performs, see how those earnings actually turn out, and of course I'll be giving you guys an update video. We'll be talking real soon.